Is there a massive national backlash today to what we're seeing with our modern day isolationists? Is there? Is there a massive national backlash against the heinous things that Carlson and Owens and Bannon and their ilk are saying, this cabal? Well, there are people speaking out, but is there a national backlash? Have you heard from Republican leaders? Look at the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party has been devoured by this movement. It is, at its core, isolationist, anti-American, pro-Islamist, anti-Israel and growing, anti-Semitic and growing. But we conservatives, constitutional conservatives, many of us who are Republicans, this element is growing right in front of us in our party, in our movement. Is there an outcry over this? I don't think so. Should Tucker Carlson, who is the modern day Charles Lindbergh without all the heroics in his past, I mean, Lindbergh was a hero. Carlson's a nothing. He's been a media figure. But I focus on him because he's one of the leaders. Is there a great national backlash? Have the Republicans in Congress called him out as a group and distanced themselves and the party from him? Has the administration? Now look, the reason this is important isn't just so we can talk about this point in history. It's because we are facing an enemy that is hell-bent on destroying us. And if we don't destroy it first, it will destroy us. It is a 7th century barbarian movement, primitives, with 21st century technology provided to it by the Communist Chinese, by North Korea, and by others. The country's impoverished, the people have been impoverished, the leaders are billionaires, but they're spending all their money on military. Not even on conventional weapons, except ballistic missiles, which are very significant. But that element of conventional weapons, not tanks, not jets, no. Ballistic missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles that are massively powerful. They're being shown how to increase the distance so they can hit Europe and the United States. They do massive damage. They are hell-bent on getting nuclear warheads, even though our president, our military blew out those nuclear sites. They're building new ones at a breakneck speed. They have no intention of stopping. They have no intention. So it's either us or them. That's the bottom line. That's why it's important that you remember these isolationists and how they camouflage so much of what they're doing with Jew hatred and anti-Semitism, because they know most of you are not Jewish. And they're trying to appeal to the most base and dark crevices of the human character. They're not the first. They're not the first. There were people who spoke out loudly against this movement in the 1930s, 1940s. We were attacked on 1941, December 7th, by the Japanese at Pearl Harbor. Obviously, there was no need, was there, for an isolationist movement. The American people rose up and we demanded retribution, and fast. Their doors closed 3 days later. Charles Lindbergh went on a mea culpa tour, apologizing for leading such a movement. Never really apologizing for his anti-Semitism, but apologizing because he and people like him influenced enough Americans to influence enough American policy that we were utterly unprepared for what would become World War II. We're not the warmongers. The enemy is. This phrase neocon is a word that's really used by people who want to attack Jews. Jews. This word, I'm not anti-Jew, I'm anti-Zionist. It's like saying I'm not anti-Catholic, I'm just anti-Rome and the Pope. I have nothing against Catholics, I just hate the Pope. I hate the Vatican. There's no reason the Catholics should have their own state. One Jewish state, over 50 Muslim states. Nobody questions that. Why do the Muslims get all these countries? Have you ever heard anybody say that? America is a majority Christian nation, and thank the good Lord for that. I say that as a Jew, because I know without the Christians, we Jews would be in big trouble. We are tied at the hip. And that's why anti-Semitism is also an attack on Christianity. When they're attacking Jews, they're attacking Jesus. They're attacking the people who wrote the Gospels. They're attacking all of us. That's why the Marxists don't believe in any faith and want to destroy all of them. And the Islamists believe in only one and destroy all the rest of them. That's what we're up against. So when we have elements in our country who conduct themselves like elements in our country conducted themselves in the 1930s, right up to the time that we were attacked in Pearl Harbor, I asked this question. Should we wait till we're attacked? Should we leave Iran alone? Let them build 20,000 ballistic missiles. Let them build ballistic missiles that can hit not only the continental United States, but Hawaii and Alaska, all of our military bases. Let them build as many ballistic missiles as they want. Let them have nuclear warheads, chemical warheads, biological warheads. Why should we fight Israel's war? How is this Israel's war? Why should we fight Israel's war? Because the Jews and Israel and Zionism and Netanyahu, in many respects, me, I guess, were foils to distract. There are elements in our country that want to destroy this society. The Marxists, the Islamists, and yes, the woke, right, neo-Nazi isolationists. You cannot watch the buildup of the Communist Chinese military, which now is a bigger navy than we do, which has more men in uniform than we do, which is building modern nuclear weapons, and in 5 or 6 years will have more nuclear weapons than we do. Their geographic locations, they're building phony islands to take over the South China Sea. Half of the world's commerce goes through the South China Sea. They controlled, not that long ago, both ends of the Panama Canal. They're working with Russia to put military bases in the Arctic Circle. They're encircling us. They were working with Venezuela, which is one of the main reasons I believe the president decided to take out Maduro. But they're working in our hemisphere, in Central and South America, with other countries, including communist countries. This isn't about the Jews. No, this is about whether you love this country or not. And we have free speech and freedom of association. We have judges that will not allow us to deport the enemies of the state, the enemies of our country. And they are here, and they are active, and they are loud. We have homegrown enemies within. Some of them come from very rich families. Some of them are billionaires trying to influence you. That peace in our time is achievable. Achievable. But for the warmongers, but for the Jews and the Israelis and Netanyahu trying to drag us into a war. That's right. But for the hawks, no more war. No war with Iran. These are the useful idiots who aid and abet our enemies. They did it before, and they're doing it today. Please speak out. Please help defend our country, defend our troops, defend our commander-in-chief who's being stabbed in the back and who's under enormous pressure from these people. Please speak out and demand that our political leaders start acting like leaders and speak out. You will determine whether this country survives or not. You will determine if we leave it to the next generation, your children, the generation after that, to fend for themselves under impossible odds with a rising China and Iran having nuclear warheads, chemical warheads, and biological warheads that can reach our country. Should we wait to get hit? That would be a disaster. We won't survive. The question is, will we be viewed by history as one of the greatest generations, or will we be viewed by history as a generation that didn't care about our children and grandchildren and all that's come before the greatest country on the face of the earth? It's up to us. Folks, if you enjoyed this clip and you want to watch the entire episode, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You can go to YouTube and subscribe, or go to Rumble and follow. And by the way, tell your friends and family too. I'll see you then.